comes down to Jaguar, I very well remember the days when the Silk-cut Jaguar was, you know, coming into play.
In the era of racing that I've covered, to think of the glory days with TWR back in the late 80s was a very special memory.
And so growing up for me, that was one of the historic race cars I remember.
I was very, very lucky to be invited to drive for the Jaguar factory team on my first visit to Le Mans, which is pretty unusual.
To go for my first ever time to even compete and try and, you know, win the GT category, and to drive for a British manufacturer as a British driver, it's almost too perfect.
So I was very much the young kid in the team, if you want, and I had two very experienced co-drivers in Jan Lammers and Johnny Dumfries, who pretty much put me on the straight and narrow and told me what I must and must not do.
There's experience, there's speed, there's young talent, there's, you know, people that have gone through so many things all together, you know, and that's what we need.
I was very aware that I must not make a mistake. If my two teammates got the car into the lead and then I went and crashed or spun off, I don't think I'd be flavour of the month. In fact, I actually already worked out a plan that if I did crash, I was going to hop over the barrier, find a taxi driver somewhere to take me back to England, because I thought if I got back to the paddock, I would be lynched.
Whenever you get involved with an iconic brand, it's a big weight to carry.
You know, I'm a big believer in turning pressure into motivation, and we're motivated to go.
Well, Jaguar factory team was a very, very good team. They had everything in order, everything organised.
If you look at this team, if you look at who owns the team, all the mechanics, all the engineers, all the drivers, all the people involved, they're all winners.
Now we have great engine reliability, great electronics reliability, and we're learning about what the car needs to go fast.
Well, it was very much England versus Germany, because of course you had the Porsche factory team were a thorn in our side the whole race long, and the fans pretty much developed into two different groups of fans too.
And it's quite nationalistic. I mean, they call it the alternative British Grand Prix because the number of people that drive down there, even when there isn't a British car racing, of course, as soon as you get a British brand in Le Mans, it's a terrific feeling, and the flags are waving, and it's just an enormously wonderful atmosphere.
I, of course, have very strong memories of driving the car the first time, because in those days we didn't have any chicanes on the straight. It was about 3.5 miles long, and I think it was something like 50 seconds flat out on the throttle.
The first lap I did at Le Mans, I had this thing like, wow, this is so amazing.
It's going to be difficult, really, to put into words what going to Le Mans for my first time means to me.
I was so tired at the end of that race because physically draining and mentally draining. To be honest, I could have just opened the motorhome door and just crashed. But the three of us decided we had to go out for dinner that night because you don't win Le Mans every day. And in fact, we all pretty much fell asleep in the restaurant one by one.
Basically, from the time we wake up before the race to the time that we actually go to sleep, it'll be every bit of 40 hours, which is a long time, not only to stay awake, but to stay focused, make good, sound decisions in the face of who knows what.
It's impressive, and I've been very lucky. I've been up on the podium a few times at Le Mans, and of course this time in '88 with Jaguar, we were up on the old podium, and I'm glad I actually got to go up on that podium before they changed it.
We haven't got there yet, and I already know that for me it's going to be a special day.
At this point, I can't think about the pleasure of Le Mans. I can only think about the anxiety of performance.
They should drum up a massive support from Jaguar fans. Any manufacturer going back to Le Mans is a big story.
You know, there's hundreds of thousands of people coming to watch that race. There's world-class drivers in there. Just look at the manufacturers there. You know, everybody is there. It's the event of the year.
You very seldom hear about the winning team, the team that prepared the car, but you know for sure the winning manufacturer.
You know, for Jaguar, we need to be there. It's our rightful place to be there. We've won it, what, 5, 6, 7 times now. We need to get back there and just to re-establish exactly what we're good at. We're a sports car company. We build sports racing cars. And when we put our mind to it, we're damn good at it.